Right, I'll stick exactly on the format that Daniel so beautifully created. First of all, context. My contact is a private, it's all women's university in Sendai. The course is compulsory. Extensive reading is compulsory for second years students at the moment. It will be expanded to first year students next year as well. It's an English department, so we can presume that they do like English. That's why they've chosen to come to an English department. The range of abilities ranges from about 300 TOEIC to about 750. Okay, so it's a very big range of students, and we do give them placement tests, and they are put into classes based on their level of English. The reading course has 4 classes with a top next down to a bottom class. Okay. There's about 25 students in each class, 20 to 25 students in the class. About 19 to 20% said they'd done extensive reading before, which I was picking up on Ben's point. I didn't go into detail exactly what they'd done, but probably if I had, I might have found the same thing. They've read a graded reader, possibly in high school. What is the disposition of the faculty, the English department at Miyagakuin, towards ER? Well, the Kilmer is completely supportive, and they control the curriculum. The reason for this is because I am the Kilmer. Actually, so it's quite easy to be supportive of the program that you really believe in. The department's very small. We've got 6 full-time faculty members, and joking aside, the other full-time staff are totally supportive of the program, but they don't teach it. I think it's quite easy to be supportive of things which you don't actually have to do. Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea, yeah, but I'm just going to do my specialist topic over here. But being supportive is important. I think it is important, and there's no dissenting voices about it. What are the goals of the program? My goals are slightly different from what I've heard this afternoon. My goals are to increase the amount of comprehensible input that the students are getting. Okay, I think a bit altruistic about we want to hopefully in the future they'll carry on reading English books. I think obviously that I hope might be a byproduct from it, but personally that isn't my goal with the program. It's they don't have enough input of English basically. Every time they want to go output, they have to piece together sentences in their head based on paper-based grammar. And it takes an awful long time because they haven't got any models of correct English in their, they haven't got enough models of correct English in their head. So the idea of this program is to increase the amount of comprehensible input. The key word being comprehensible. So it needs to be easy. Dominic just showed one of the Oxford Reading Tree books. But yeah, all my students, we started off on that level or even lower than that, and it took them about 1 minute to read the book. And it was fine. They'd read an English book and they put that one back and get another one. So they ended up reading about 160, 200 books in the first few weeks. But the effect on motivation for students who actually haven't read many is incredible. I can read. Okay, they're really easy books, but you can actually read them. And also I linked it to my specialty, is Jido Eigo Koiku, which is teaching English to children. So there was a link as well on a content based. Why did I choose these books? Was because my children learnt to read, my own children learnt to read using this series, so I was completely familiar with all the content of these books, which again, somebody mentioned it earlier, I think Ben did, it's important. If the teacher hasn't actually read the books and doesn't know the books, it's very difficult to build some rapport through the content of the books if you don't actually know what the book was about. Okay. How's it evaluated? 50,000 words a semester. Basically, 50,000 words a semester was the first total. After the first semester, they all achieved that. So the second semester it went up to 75,000 words a semester. This was based on, I asked them, what do you think is realistic? And they said about 75. So I said, okay, well let's do 75 for the next semester. and most of them went over 100,000 for the next semester. And this wasn't the top class. Okay, so I think if you're thinking of doing it between about 75,000 words for a semester for not particularly high-level students, academically high-level students, is probably a good ballpark figure. Some students are going to read a lot more. The top was 450,000. Okay, so again we had a big range in the class. She was extreme case. Yes.
Are you doing this? Is this all in the class, or is it homework as well?
Okay, right. Does that come up next or no? No, thanks, Ian. I'll jump to how we do it, the methodology, all in the class. It's a maximum time on task principle, okay? Before I get there, the students have brought the trolley to the room. If I'm not there, they've all started, they're all sitting there reading. So when you enter the room, they've got their book out and they will be working. So the class is 80 minutes long and they should read for approximately 75 minutes probably, okay, of the class time. One big difference compared to other programs, I think, is the students come up and read to me individually during the class time. So I call their name out, they bring up their book, they sit here and they read to me. Before I was at primary school, most people know I was a primary school teacher in England, and this is exactly what I did with primary school children in England. They come up, bring your book, read to the teacher. And the children really liked it. Native speaker English children really liked it, and surprisingly enough, I found the Japanese students actually quite liked it as well. I gave a questionnaire to them all. Did you feel intimidated sitting next to me and having to read? And they said no, that it was a positive feedback. And actually, it was, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, this is actually quite important. Because if you don't do that, and you just read throughout your class, the teacher just sort of sits there. Yeah? You just sit there, policing, or in this sort of a top-down way. Or in England, we were taught as primary school teachers to read at the same time as the students, as a model for what students should do. But I found coming up, and then I log in their running total of words into an Excel sheet. So I sit here just like this, you come up, okay, how many words did you read this week? Each student has a reading logbook, which is available in SEG, S-E-G. If you put S-E-G in Google or something, it'll come up. They sell these logbooks, they write the title, how many words it was, and a running total. So each week they bring up the book, what's your running total, thank you very much, I put it in. And immediately I can see it lined up with last week, so I can say, basically, how many words did they read during the week? So I can either comment, great, you've done a lot this week, or what were you doing this week? You didn't do so much. Or if it's too big, it's like the red light starts to flash. I think, well, tell me a little bit about this one. Let me look, what did you read? This book, what was this about? And then I can pick it up, and in a fairly positive way, you can pick out, make sure that all students are doing what. Again, in the English department, I don't have a problem with them doing the work. Okay, they want to be better at English, that's why they're in the English department. So I don't get through the whole class. Usually I get through about half, 12 to 13 students in 80 minutes sitting next to me. So half the class, I don't see them. So then it would be simply, you pick up go around, can you just show me your log? Or where's your running total? Yes, it's 13,000, okay, thank you. And go around the next student, okay? If you've got classes of 25, it's workable. I think anything over about 30, you might be struggling to do that. So again, these are the logistics. All right. The 50,000 words I said was a 60% grade. If you do 50,000, you will get 60% as your grade. And then it goes up. If you do 70,000, you will get 70. If you do 80, you'll get 80. So if you read over 100,000 words in the semester, you will get 100% on this course. Okay. So it was very straightforward. That was the first semester. The second semester, I started to play around with it a bit and brought in a class ranking. If you read the most in the class, there was 10 extra points for a class ranking, but I'm not actually sure it was particularly, and it complicated it a little bit. So again, these things you might want to play around with. How many books have we got? About 400. We haven't got the thousands like Torquidai. We could have. I think probably because I'm the Kilmer, the money could come available if I wished it. But it seems to be enough. They're in plastic boxes like Ben had originally, and they're on a trolley. And they get wheeled to the classroom. the teachers in charge, there's actually two teachers. There's me and another Japanese teacher who's teaching. We decide which books go in on the trolley. And they're organised on, who was organised on Yomiyasa level, yeah, YL. Each box has a level, a YL level. Which again, if you go to the SEG website, that gives you all. And each book, just like Corey's, the number of words is on the front of the book. And so when they've read it, they write down the number of words in their book. If you go to on the web, you can find most word counts for the book. I asked my office to look them all up. Not like Corey's. And they did, because they're very supportive. Yeah, Fukusan looked them all up. But most of them are on one website. And then they couldn't find, we had a rule in the class, we all agreed, what should we do? I asked the class, and somebody said, well, the first person to read the book, if it hasn't got a word count, has to count the words. What a great idea, okay? So, and they were sort of cooperative with that. I mean, do it once is okay. If you had to do it every time, it would be a bit tedious. But you end up with the correct word count on all the books. Okay, what's the future? Next year we're going to start with the first year class, and we're going to start an extensive reading club in the department, where students can come in at lunchtime and talk to a native speaker teacher about their book and change their book within a room. So it's a bit similar to the cabinet idea. At the moment they're all in the department library, the books. We don't use the main library. Although there's loads of extensive reading books in Miyagi-Oku's main library. Somebody brought up ease of access. How quickly can the student get the book they want to read and read it? Especially if you're reading very simple books. Like I said, 1 minute, they finish the book. Well, it would take them 20 minutes to get to the library and back to change the book. So at the moment we're using the trolley system with boxes of books. But for the higher level classes, I did take them on a tour of the main library and said, look, be aware there is a bigger resource. And this is something I think we can develop in the future. So, okay, I